Hey, Cricket Rockstar Nation, welcome to the third episode of the Sixes Cricket Facts podcast hosted by yours truly, Tyrelle Audain. I am Tyrelle Audain, aka the Cricket Rockstar Devo. First and foremost, I would like to apologize for my sore throat. I've been under the weather for the last couple of days. I'm trying to fight over it, so be mindful. I do have a sore throat, so I won't be talking loud like I would do in previous videos. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So on today's show, we'll be previewing the second test involving India and West Indies and the test series involving Pakistan and South Africa. In the first test in Ahmedabad, if the first test in Ahmedabad was a complete blowout, India would be coming into the final test match in a comfortable position, and word out of the Indian team camp, it's likely they'll go with the same side, even though there has been talk about resting Jasprit Bumrah in order to manage his workload. But on the other hand, they have opted against going with four spinners and have stuck with the same combination, which includes three pacemen and three spinners. And the real reason why they're sticking with three pacemen and three spinners is because the Indian management are looking at the long-term role for Nitish Kumar Reddy, the all-round bowler, as their third seam option once they have yet another overseas tour in the future. The fact of the matter is that India will be heading off to Australia for a white ball series, which bowls off next week. So there could have been a minor tweak to the team. However, they've opted for the same 11 as for the West Indies. For yet another series in a row, they'll be aiming at avoiding a clean sweep as their batters coming into this test match will be under immense pressure, given the fact only a few of them have gotten starts of 20/30 runs, yet still they aren't able to take on and score even more, given the fact how India, compared to the West Indies, have a lot of depth in all of the departments. Even former Indian captain/commentator since the early 1990s, Sunil Gavaskar, didn't hold back one bit, calling some of the West Indian bowlers, with the exception of Jaden Seals, Jamal Warrikan and Kyrie Peer, net bowlers for the lack of aggression and pace. But if you look at the statistics, those three who I mentioned were all in the wicket-taking column. And I'll be honest with you right now, I do not see a massive turnaround happening for the West Indies unless guys such as Shea Hope and Captain Roslan Chase stand up and bat for long periods of time. We have seen it in the limited overs format, but with regards to the test match format, they just throw the wicket away too cheaply. Normally, the pitch at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, formerly known as the Firozshah Kotla in Delhi, is known to be a pitch which favours the spinners. However, what experts have been saying that the pitch might turn out to be a friendly one for the batters, something that hasn't been seen in a test match in India or at that venue for quite a while. And to be real with you, the last time when India played a test at Delhi was against Australia, where they hammered them inside 3 days in February of 2023. A few weeks ago, I was actually telling a long-time staff member, Ed Palmers, where I do all of my hosting gigs and pass there from time to time. I told her that the prediction is India will sweep West Indies 2-0, and my prediction is actually staying the same, and I'll not be surprised if the match actually finishes inside 3 days once again, because it's a damn fact that the West Indies batters aren't interested in batting for long periods of time. That is why, and what I mean by that is when you bat for long periods of time, that's the spirit of Test cricket. It's not about baseball and aggressive mindset. It's about playing with your, how should I say it? It's about playing with a lot of defense and a lot of character. Or as what the words of Ian Chappell, former Australian captain and retired commentator, has stated, Test cricket is a test of your skill, your courage, and your intelligence. And as I said on the last show, the West Indies doesn't deserve to play Test cricket right now, and that's all I have to say regarding that. So without further ado, we're going to take the first short break on the podcast, and we will be right back right after this. Welcome back to the Sixers Cricket Facts podcast hosted by Tyrelle Audain. So as I mentioned earlier on, India have opted to stick with the same team that they played in the first test match, meaning that there's no place for Prashant Krishna and there's also no place for Akshar Patel, meaning that Nitish Kumar already gets another game and Jasprit Bumrah plays the second test. Now, I would have thought, in my honest opinion, that Krishna would have gotten an opportunity in place of Bumrah, so they would have managed his workload, as there's the Australia series, which starts next week, which he will play a massive role with regards to that series. So moving away from India now to its neighbours Pakistan, as the men in green would be in action for the first time in this cycle of the World Test Championship this Sunday, as they play South Africa in two tests, which starts in Lahore and finishes in Rawalpindi. And that's not all. Following the test matches, the Proteas and the Pakistanis will play three T20 internationals, with the first one being played in Rawalpindi and the next two at the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, followed by a three-match one-day series all at the Iqbal Stadium in Faisalabad, a venue that hasn't hosted any international cricket since Bangladesh toured Pakistan in April of 2008. The last time Pakistan hosted South Africa for a test series was 4 years ago during the COVID-19 pandemic, where the host swept the Proteas 2-0, and they'll be aiming at maintaining its home dominance against the South Africans. If you look at the Proteas, the challenge is very simple. They start their title defense strong in tough subcontinental conditions, and that's not all. After this series against Pakistan, they have another uphill battle as they face India in a three-match test series that bowls off a few weeks after the Pakistan South Africa series. But coming back to Pakistan, they're still being led by Shan Masood, who unveiled their who, by the way, Pakistan, as I just mentioned, unveiled a 16-man squad and are still being led by Shan Masood. And there have been some talking points with regards to some of the inclusions. For example, Shaheen Shah Afridi, who barely hasn't played any first class or test match cricket since the first test against England last year, where Pakistan conceded 8-4. And also the surprise inclusion of 38-year-old left arm spinner Asif Afridi, who was the leading wicket taker in the Hanif Mohammed Trophy that took place a few weeks ago in Pakistan. As I mentioned, Masood will continue to lead the team despite Pakistan's irregularity in the long format with regards to performances within the last few years. Plus, there's the big return of talisman batter Babar Azam, who actually had a poor World Test Championship campaign the last time around, and also returning to the team through his star wicketkeeper batter Mohammad Rizwan to the Test match side. Don't forget, they have more reliable players other than the two main star players in the likes of Shad Shakil, who provides solidarity, and opener Abdullah Shafiq at the top of the order. And there's also the return of Imam ul Haq at the opening spot, and that's been a questionable debate though, despite the fact they could have retained Saim Mayum, who I do feel sorry for, because these selectors inside the PCB they've opted for experience rather than the younger talent. Keep in mind, Ayum was dropped from the team due to a poor Asia Cup performance. But let me cut to the chase right there. Why mixed performances with regards to the Asia Cup and Test cricket? They're two different formats. T20, which was the Asia Cup recently, where Saim Ayum had a poor run. And furthermore, the last time Ayum played a Test match was the second Test against South Africa in January, where he broke his ankle and was out of the game for quite some time. And he was in terrific form back then. So what is this nonsense, leaving out a player who has been in terrific form and have gone with a line who has been tried and tested before and has struggled? So I just can't understand that, and I do not know what was the sense in Imam coming back in for Saim, but you never know. Overall, the batting core for Pakistan looks strong, but the question is, do they have what it takes to be very competitive against the South Africans, especially in the batting department, which has been a question mark raised from the previous World Test Championship campaign, which they did struggle on both spinning tracks and also pitches, which have suited the faster bowlers alike. Talking about the bowling attack, the return of Shaheen Shah Afridi is actually a controversial call, in my opinion, due to the fact he hasn't played any first class nor test cricket within the last year. He does have backup in Hassan Ali. Coincidentally, the last time when Pakistan and South Africa faced in Pakistan, those were the structures of chief, or should I say, the two main wicket takers that did most of the damage, which did lead to Pakistan beating South Africa in Karachi and Rawalpindi the last time around 2-0. But on the other hand, I am still bemused and in a state of shock that Muhammad Abbas is not even on the team. You have another guy who bowls around the same pace just like him in the side in the like of Karam Shazad, who, mind you, hasn't done all that bad in the test in the long format of the game lately. But if needed, these guys might come into play. But then coming to the slow bowlers now, who will be the main key for Pakistan, especially on these tracks in Lahore and Rawalpindi. Asif Ali, as I mentioned, out of nowhere has gotten a selection over Miram Mutaz, who has been performing consistently in the domestic scene the last few seasons. He, in all honesty, should have gotten a call up ahead of Asif Afridi. But if you're building for the future, why continue going with oldies? I have no problem with the likes of Nomad Ali and Sajid Khan. They're the main senior spinners who have been doing all the damage within the last couple of years. Look, if you recall last year against England, Nomad and Sajid took 39 wickets against England, and if I'm not mistaken, when these two spinners faced off against the West Indies in January in Pakistan, they literally almost took 40 wickets among themselves. But on the other hand, if the uncles are doing the job, there's no need for Asif Afridi, and there's also that third spinning option in Abrar Ahmed, who I think is going to fit in ahead of one of the other faster bowlers. If Pakistan want to defeat South Africa, the two spinners, Numan and Sajid, are going to be the key for them. The Proteas, on the other hand, they'll be without its regular skipper, Temper Perfumer, who is out of the series due to an injury, which means Aidan Markham steps into the captaincy once more, and it's a massive loss for the visiting Proteas, both for Perfumer's solidarity in the middle order, and the focus on Aidan Markham will be split between his captaincy and his batting, especially against pace and spin. Plus, you cannot count out South Africa's dangerous pacemen in Kagiso Rabada, Marco Jansen, and don't forget Rian Mulder, who has been the star performer with South Africa, surprisingly with the bat in the last few months. Don't forget his 369 against Zimbabwe, where he could have gone to break Lara's record, but decided to not break the great man's record against a minnow team, which I understand, but at the same time it drew backlash. Those are the three pacemen that Pakistan that can literally rip through Pakistan's batting lineup once there's something for the faster bowlers. But on the other hand, they'll be relying on spin, especially from senior pro off spinner Simon Harmer, who has been around South Africa cricket for a long time and has been the leading wicket taker in county cricket for many years now. And there's a newcomer on the team in Prinilan Subayan, who has been around South Africa's domestic circuit for a while now. Furthermore, he's there in the team due to the absence of Kishore Maharaj, who's unavailable till the second test in Pindi, still recovering from an injury. Look out also for emerging players such as Tristan Stubbs, known for his exploits in the limited overs game, and David Bellingham, who has been a test regular for the last few years now. As I mentioned before, Rian Mulder is one who can turn the game around with the bat, and he is one that can play sensibly. Overall, Pakistan has the psychological edge due to its experienced spinners in Noman and Sajid, and the return of star players in Baba Azam, Mohammad Rizwan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and don't forget those reliable ones in the middle order. As for the Proteas in the South Africans, they'll be relying a lot on Rabada and Markram to deliver. Don't forget Simon Harmer, as I said before, he can be very effective on these wickets. For sure, this is going to be a fascinating series, while on the other hand, I'll not be predicting who's going to win because both sides are going to fight like hell to get results once it's a balanced track which suits both batters and bowlers alike, or the same slow pitch which has been working out quite well for the hosts, especially for the three spinners within the last 12 months. With that said, that's going to wrap up this episode of the Sixes Cricket Facts podcast. Remember to follow me on my social media, Facebook and Instagram at TJ Audain Official, Twitter/X at TJ Audain, and also at X, or should I say at TikTok, TJ Audain-official. That's it for this video. Remember, be good, be cool, stay frosty, and we'll continue. Hopefully by the next show, sometime next week, my voice will get back to normal. I do apologize, but I've been under the weather for the last few days for the inconvenience caused. Till then, bye-bye for now.